Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cold War. Last episode, not a lot did happen, apart from Japan being liberated, or rather they regained their independence, and we guaranteed South Vietnamese independence and transport over an army in order to defend them in the, I think, inevitable Vietnamese War. Not sure if it will happen or won't happen, but I'm pretty sure it will happen. History has said so. And also, the Korean War, shouldn't it happen by now? Or maybe very, very soon? Though, then again, not everything needs to happen according to the historical timetable. So it could happen at any point, or maybe not at all. Who knows? One thing that has been happening in the world, and the only war really going on at the moment, is the Indian liberation of Kashmir. So there's a full-blown war between India and Pakistan right now. And India, I presume, will be the one who will win that, because they have a massive army. Or do they? They have 44 brigades. Why do they have 2,259 in military score when they only have 44 brigades? That makes absolutely no sense. And they have 16 brigades, war exhaustion is about similar on both sides, and the war seems to be a bit inconclusive at the moment. I have no idea what's happening, but maybe things will turn out good. We will have to keep an eye out for what's going on in India. I would like to stimulate the economy through the production of ships. Oh, actually we are having ships only. No, that's from Seoul Domestic. Shipyards. Oh, we do have shipyards. Shipyards in California. Oh, excellent. We actually produce almost all the ships in the world. We have a monopoly of sorts. That's excellent. When did that shipyard get started? Airplane factory. US diplomatic mission to ease the USSR tension. Sure. It's actually been here for a long time. Excellent. We finally have our shipyards. Maybe now these can get strengthened. Or maybe they need to be at... accept the USSR peace outreach mission. Prestige gained from both of us and relation with them improved. Sure. Maybe we need to be in a shipyard in order for them to get back. Apparently the French took over chairmanship of that, which is inevitable. We did form it, but that doesn't matter. They can take it over for now. I guess heavy mining machinery is the next one up. I'm hoping to get these destroyers and everything to be repaired. They took a lot of damage from being neglected from us. And these transport ships have recovered, so that is good. That is good. We should probably send these ships as well to some sort of port where they can be repaired, so they don't end up in the horrific fate that happened to the main transport fleet, which I foolishly sent across the ocean, not really realizing that upon the open water they probably would take some damage, and they couldn't really take any damage. Guatemala wants to be in alliance with us, which is excellent, because while Guatemala is not the strongest nation on Earth, in fact it will probably be more of a liability, the more they're a part of our alliance, the better. The more the merrier, as some would say. Cuba requests financial assistance. Absolutely. As much as you want, Cuba. As long as you don't fall to communism, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So I wonder how's it going. Where was the... put down Baltimore as the rally point for the ships. Has Baltimore received any ships yet? It seems to be only the aircraft carrier. Yeah, it's only the aircraft carrier here. That's a bit of a disappointment. What happened to all the other ships we were trying to build? Well, they are getting there. It's going a bit slowly, but it's getting there. Oh yeah, we can increase our thing in Malaya. Oh yeah, these were counted as Malaya, weren't they? Yeah, we have now settled the South China Sea Islands, which is beautiful. We took them from... no one knew that we could. We took them, and now we're gonna build a naval base, build a fort there, build pretty much everything that we can. So we have a colony. We have another colony. American Malaya with 200 something people living there. All of them Chinese except for a few that have now been migrating over. White Anglo, 2 of them, and Ryukyuan, 2 of those. And then we have some Chinese aristocrats living here too. A small settlement, to be fair. But maybe some more people will migrate over. Some move to other places. That's fine. Yeah, the Anglos moved back to Balboa. They were really, really not happy with their accommodations there. But maybe more will come in the future, as the situation improves. Maybe when they have a fort and they can feel a bit more safe. Maybe. Now the Breton system is next up, where our technology level is on par with everything in the world. I wonder when the next big dump of things will come. This seems to be 1960 for most things, 1955 for one there. Yeah, from all of these, holy shit, we are looking at 1969 and stuff. So we will probably be at the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of technology for a long time, very, very soon. And I can hear in the background some ships being made. And finally gathering over here in Baltimore. So that's beautiful. And this one, is this actually Washington? Yes, it is. Even though the unit icon is way over here, while the position of this is over here. It's a bit strange and hard to read. I thought this obviously was part of Baltimore, but Baltimore is over here instead. That's fine. I have no complaints. Another one? Sure. We will have really good relations with the Soviet Union very, very soon. We actually have a really good relationship with the Soviet Union right now. Let's see. Should we assist India? Maybe we should. We'll send some war subsidies to them. You know what we should do? Just because we're a player, we'll support both sides. There we go. Both sides should get some help. Maybe we should open back up our factories and give them another shot at it. Nothing more than that. That's all we will do. Give them one more shot at it. Let's see. Education spending. I forgot we lowered that. That needs to go up. And that is now up. We're in total spending 1.3 in war subsidies, which is not a lot at all. So what else do we have now? We have the Bank for International Settlements. Absolutely, and then we have frigates. And destroyers will activate... Oh, actually destroyers do. And after that, we're pretty much done with technology. I just wonder when things will happen, when something interesting will happen. Now apparently we have moderate government corruption, which is pretty bad, to be fair, but I'm not really sure if we can do anything about it. After that, unless we get into some sort of conflict, or we get to like the Korean Civil War and the Vietnamese War, I'm not sure what to do. Oh, there we go. It's actually happening. UN resolution to end South Korea's... Vote against the resolution. Yeah. Wait, actually South Korea doesn't like that. Support the resolution. We'll try to support the resolution, but we will join in the war against them. Should we request United Nations peacekeeping forces? We should not. Let's see, where are they? Where is that, I mean? Medium wartime, high wartime rationing. Yes. Wait, high, is that good or bad? I mean, I thought of high as in you give them a lot of things in the rationing. But maybe that means that you're rationing extremely hard, which makes people angry. Well, we won't request any peacekeeping intervention. It will lower our standings. What we will need to do is send over some more men. And we have our fleet ready over here to transport over. We have our fleet ready here to go out at sea to try to defend. It's under Donald Fry, who is an expert raider and resolute to boot. UN resolution to end Japan's conflict. Wait, Japan is in a conflict? Ah, North Korea. We'll support the resolution. South Korea has joined our glorious bloc, which is beautiful. Maybe now they will like us. North Korean troops are trying to enter Kungnung. We will force them out and then attack them at Kaesong. They don't have that many men. I wonder if they have any sort of allies besides that, because otherwise we will crush their army. And we will do it really, really easily. DEFCON 2. Yes. I mean, we are at war, after all. They are moving on to Pyongyang. We will follow. And we will also try to... Oh, we can move over this... Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. We'll send over this army that will act as a rear guard. And we will organize an airlift. Difficulties of Berlin airlift. Hopefully that won't lead to a war with the Soviet Union at the moment, because that would be devastating. So I wonder... Oh. Support intervention and material support. Now the North Korean army is moving to Hamhung, I mean. So we will go for that. Oh, the Japanese has aircraft carriers. I thought it wasn't allowed to have that. Apparently, I guess the resolution passed or something like that. Maybe we shouldn't have voted for it. I hate when it randomly ends. I was hoping for a bit more. See, end wartime rationing. Then again, if I wanted more, why did I vote for a resolution? It's a question. Question that needs answers. Why did they get kicked out as allies? Damn it. And now the world is ablaze with everyone trying to influence everyone here. Difficulties of Berlin airlift. Yeah, it's a success. Cambodia, we can have better relations with you. I promise not to bomb you. I promise not to bomb you. Unlike, I don't remember if it was Reagan or... I can never remember that other guy. It's not Reagan, it's the guy before him. Or a bit before him. Who was called Richard Nixon. Yes, Richard Nixon. I don't remember who of them was the ones who had like the Operation Freedom Deal or whatever screwed up name the bombing of Cambodia had. Just look that up. When you say that out loud, it seems like it's a parody, Operation Freedom Deal, but it was actually a thing that happened. A pretty devastating thing. I think more bombs were dropped on Cambodia during that and the previous operation than did in the entire World War II. From United States, that is. Influence for one infamy? Oh, it's not like we have a lot of infamy to begin with. Doesn't matter. Communist putsch in Berlin. No, we can't give up Berlin. Stop it. Oh my. Oh my. Send interceptors this time. World War III. So we could either go for that and end up with World War III, or we could stop the airlift, which probably means that we will cede Berlin. We received reports of our transport planes being fired upon, which means we cannot continue the airlift any longer. If we want to support Berlin further, we must do it by force. So this is apparently where the Soviet Union puts down their feet. Okay, I will do a save here because of bullshit might happening. So if this were to actually happen, if the Soviet Union were to provoke a conflict with the United States, especially with the United States having the NATO with them, you would assume that NATO would answer the call and actually go to war. I am extremely uncertain whether our allies will actually join in a war like that due to Victoria 2 being the way it is. That's why I did the save, in case of bullshit like that occurring. Because we can't really give up Berlin. What kind of leader of the free world would we be if we gave up Berlin just because the Soviet Union put on some heat on us? They are the aggressors in this case. They are the ones who are trying to prevent Berlin from receiving the materials they need. So clearly they are in the wrong here, and we are in the right. From that perspective, it would make sense to go for World War III, considering we would have the moral high ground. We would have all of our allies backing us up in this case, which would probably allow us for at least a decent conflict, I would hope. The thing is, I'm very uncertain whether our allies would join in, and I think all of them will abandon us. So let's try and see what happens. The Cold War has turned hot. Let's see, war is upon us. We shall be victorious. So let's roll it for 1 day and see how many allies we lose. Yeah, everyone. See, this is why I saved. This is the bullshit I'm referring to. And let's see how many of their allies joined in. I'm betting all of them. Yes, all of them. Which is because even though they were the aggressors in this case, we were the ones technically declaring war on them. Which means that all of our allies said no. And all of their allies said yes. Which is incredible amounts of bullshit. And also Finland is with them in their war. Oh god. Why would that happen? Like, I don't understand. This is a bit frustrating because, well, now we have to reload, which means that we probably should put a cut in the episode here after this, and I will just continue from the save I just made. This is such amount of bullshit. Because we would have, as I mentioned before, that would leave us with the moral high ground. We would have a credible case to deliver to our allies, and they would be forced to say yes unless they want to abandon everything and join in on the Soviet side, meaning they would fall to communism. They would have no reason to back down. All of our allies, none of them would have a reason to back down, yet all of them did. Not a single goddamn one of them, except for the ones who are direct puppets of us, said yes. Not even Japan said yes. No one said yes to our request. Just because technically every single decision I've seen from the United States and the USSR going to war, all of them seems to be United States technically being the one that declares war, meaning that the Allies doesn't respond or doesn't want to, and the Soviet Union will be the defender in the conflict. See, this war is even called a war of American aggression, which is complete bullshit considering they were the ones stopping the airlift, they were the ones provoking us. So I think in that regard, this mod needs to change that around or make them, the allies of the United States, far more willing to back up their leader in case of the World War III actually happening. Otherwise, what's the goddamn point with NATO? What's the goddamn point with having all this block thing if the block doesn't support its leader? Ever. Ever. I haven't encountered a single scenario where I've had a single goddamn ally in any of these conflicts with the Soviet Union, which is a bit frustrating. Either way, next episode we will continue from where we left off now, except for the war part, and we will say no, I assume, and lose Berlin because there's no other choice that we can make. So we'll see what happens beyond that. Either way, thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time. Have a good one.